This movie franchise, entitled Poltergeist, launched in 1982, is notorious not just from the terrifying scenes it portrayed, but also from what many believe to be a haunting curse which plagued the casts and crews behind it. All these films concern the haunting of the Freeling family by malevolent spirits, and it would seem as though they have created their own personal, real-life horrors, with a string of eerie happenings, deaths, and bizarre accidents contributing to the legend of the Poltergeist curse. What started out as simple rumor eventually escalated into one of Hollywood's most enduring supernatural mysteries. A masterpiece conceived in darkness. The original Poltergeist was the brainchild of both director Tobe Hooper and producer Steven Spielberg. Hooper, known best for his work on the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, teamed up with Spielberg, fresh off the overwhelming success of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, to fabricate a story that, though fictional, took on a life of its own. In 1982, Poltergeist became notorious for illustrating in gruesome detail a family being put under siege by restless spirits. The film was a success, credited to its groundbreaking special effects and suspenseful atmosphere. Soon, however, gossip started to circulate about an evil spirit lurking in the background of the set. They say that the seeds of the Poltergeist curse had been planted during the filming of the original movie. Indeed, a number of cast members and crew alike spoke about inexplicable malfunctions and set accidents, such as flickering lights, sudden power cuts, and nameless pieces of equipment breaking down without rhyme or reason. It was these strange happenings that led many to suspect something malevolent had been stirred during the making of the film, to which events that continued to mount seemed to give credence: the murder of Dominique Dunne. The first tragedy to strike the cast of Poltergeist was the death of Dominique Dunne, who played Dana, the oldest Freeling daughter. Just months after the release of the film, Dunne was brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend, John Sweeney, in front of her home in West Hollywood. After being strangled into a coma, she died 5 days later on November 4, 1982, at age 22. This was an unbelievable turn of events, sending shockwaves through the entertainment community and capturing headlines in news around the world. The sad death of Dunne seemed even more ominous in light of how close it was to the release of the film, and many people started to feel as though something dark had been let out during the making of the movie. The idea of a poltergeist curse began to take hold in the public imagination, and Dunne's murder became a cornerstone of the curse narrative. Heather O'Rourke's tragic death. If Dominique Dunne's death ignited the notion of a curse, Heather O'Rourke's untimely death at just 12 years old and starring as Carol Ann, the young girl at the center of the Poltergeist series, really cemented the notion. O'Rourke found fame with her eerie line, "They're here." Tragically, she died in 1988 due to a bowel obstruction that caused septic shock during the filming of Poltergeist 3 after she was misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease. Her unexplained and sudden death spurred a new wave in rumors concerning the Poltergeist curse once again. Her illness and subsequent death really shocked the world, since she had looked perfectly healthy during the filming of the movies. In a weird twist of fate, O'Rourke's character had survived each supernatural ordeal on screen, but in real life she was unable to avoid being reigned by fate. This tragedy thus sent fans and skeptics alike of the series questioning this eerie link between the films and the deaths of two of its young stars. To this day, Heather O'Rourke's death remains the most poignant symbol of the supposed curse. The skeletons in the pool scene. One of the most unsettling aspects of the curse is related to the filming of a notorious scene in the original Poltergeist movie, wherein Jo Beth Williams' character Diane was pulled into a pool filled with skeletons. What Williams and the other cast members did not realize at the time was that the skeletons used in the scene were, in fact, actual human remains. This fact is due mostly to the pragmatic reason that real skeletons were less expensive to obtain than artificial ones. When Williams found out that she was actually working with real human bones, she was utterly horrified. Discomfort affected many on set, and soon a large number began to feel that the use of actual human remains stirred up some sort of dark energies manifesting as the Poltergeist curse. In fact, many believe that the skeletons used were the cause of all those tragedies. This choice has become one of the most forwarded aspects of the curse, as many point to the use of real skeletons as a disrespectful act that called upon supernatural consequences. While modern productions would likely avoid such practices, the use of real bones during Poltergeist remains a very contentious and curious footnote in Hollywood history. The death of Julian Beck. Unfortunately, tragedies with the Poltergeist films did not stop with Dunne and O'Rourke. During the shooting of Poltergeist II, The Other Side, cast addition Julian Beck played the terrifying Reverend Henry Kane. Beck was so terrifying on screen because of his skeletal, gaunt features, which brought an additional level of menace to the malevolent spirit. Sadly, Beck had been fighting stomach cancer during filming and died shortly after completion of his work in the film. The death was a whole new twist on the curse, since fans immediately were able to link Beck's death with a mysterious string of tragedies associated with the franchise. As the menacing, death-obsessed spirit of the films, Beck took the rumors of on-set misfortune a step further, and his demise only added to speculation that something dark milled around the production. The death of Will Sampson. Another actor who was involved with Poltergeist II was a Native American actor named Will Sampson, who played the Shaman Taylor, a character brought in to help the Freeling family fight off the spirits that haunt them. A medicine man in real life, Sampson performed a blessing on set to exorcise any malevolent spirits that might have been responsible for the strange happenings during filming. A year after the film's release, Sampson himself died of post-operative complications after undergoing heart-lung transplant surgery. Although his death was unrelated to events depicted in the movie, this only furthered the ever-growing legend of the Poltergeist curse. Sampson, being such a spiritual figure and attempting to cleanse the set of evil in such a manner, only seemed to reinforce the idea that the film series was steeped in dark energy, strange incidents, near-death experiences. While cast member deaths are the most highlighted portion of the Poltergeist curse, a multitude of weird events plagued the production. JoBeth Williams, the actress who played Diane Freeling, related some weird occurrences that happened while she was on set working on the first film. Every night when she came home from filming, she would find all the pictures hanging on her walls tilted, even though she knew she straightened the pictures before she left her house. Another frightening incident happened to Oliver Robbins, the actor who was playing Robbie Freeling, their middle child. In one of the movie's most remembered scenes, Robbie is attacked by a possessed clown doll that wraps its arms around his neck and starts strangle-holding him. In filming, the mechanical doll malfunctioned, and Robbins was actually being choked by the prop. Fortunately, the crew intervened before it could get too serious, but it added to the growing sense that something was amiss on set. Some crew members reported some strange happenings, including eerie noises, cold drafts, and unexplained accidents. Lights would flicker for no reason, equipment would fail unexpectedly. A number of people reported sudden feelings of unease or dread while on set. At the time, most considered these minor setbacks part of the bedlam that was filmmaking, but in retrospect, they were further evidence of the curse. The media frenzy. The combination of tragic deaths with the strange occurrences, and the media lapped it up to sensationalize this Hollywood idea of a curse. Extensive coverage of the Poltergeist curse was provided by tabloid newspapers and entertainment magazines, speculating whether supernatural forces in the films had crossed over into reality. With each passing story of bizarre accidents and deaths, so grew the legend of the Poltergeist curse. Media publicity contributed much to the perpetuation of the curse legend. Each new tragedy that occurred drew one back to the conclusion that something sinister was in play. To many fans, the curse was as big a part of the story concerning Poltergeist as the films themselves. Legend or coincidence? The Poltergeist curse is still today being considered one of the most famous legends of Hollywood. Even though all these tragic incidents may be explained due to natural causes, a case of domestic violence in the case of Dominique Dunne, Heather O'Rourke's death from complications during surgery, Julian Beck and Will Sampson died because of health conditions they have previously developed. The number of incidents and deaths reported to be connected to this franchise kept fueling speculation in people regarding the authenticity of this curse. Thank you for spending time with us through Spookscope today. Feel free to share your knowledge and wisdom in the comments section, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends and family. Until next time, my dear spooker, stay curious.